Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. 7-vehicle pileup on Chuo Expressway in Yamanashi leaves 7 injured. A multi-vehicle accident involving 7 cars and trucks occurred on the Chuo Expressway in Uenohara City, Yamanashi Prefecture at approximately 1:15 p.m. on the 5th. The collision resulted in injuries to 7 people, including young children. Police and firefighters are responding at the scene, with investigations ongoing into the severity of injuries and the cause of the accident. Traffic on the Chuo Expressway may have been temporarily disrupted due to the incident. Police are appealing for information from any witnesses. Major Typhoon 15 develops. Public urged to monitor latest updates. A large Typhoon 15 has formed over the sea far southeast of Japan as of this afternoon on the 5th. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, the typhoon is currently moving in a northwesterly direction over the southeastern waters. There is a possibility that the typhoon could approach the Japanese archipelago in the coming days, and the Meteorological Agency is calling on the public to pay close attention to the latest weather information. Depending on changes in the typhoon's path and intensity, some regions may experience stronger winds and rain. We ask residents throughout the country to check weather forecasts frequently and make preparations for severe winds, heavy rainfall, and other typhoon-related hazards. The Japan Meteorological Agency plans to release updated typhoon information on an ongoing basis. Nippon Paper Industries holds first press conference following Kumamoto earthquake that claimed 9 lives. President offers apologies. Nippon Paper Industries, where 9 precious lives were lost in the Kumamoto earthquake, held its first press conference on the afternoon of the 5th in Yatsushiro City. President Akira Sawabe, who attended the conference, offered sincere apologies to the victims and their families. The earthquake last month on the 28th caused a smokestack to collapse at the company's factory in Yatsushiro City, Kumamoto Prefecture, resulting in numerous employees being caught in the disaster. President Sawabe stated, "I sincerely apologize for the loss of these 9 irreplaceable lives," and explained the company's future measures to strengthen safety protocols and address victim support. The company indicated its policy to continue detailed investigations into the accident's cause while also establishing a support system for employees. SpaceX rocket debris expected to impact lunar surface. NASA plans to observe. Debris from a SpaceX rocket is expected to collide with the moon's surface this afternoon Japan time on the 5th, according to NASA. The American Space Agency announced the development. The rocket debris entered lunar orbit during a launch several years ago and has been circling the moon ever since. NASA is treating this collision as an opportunity and plans to conduct detailed observations of the impact. Through these observations, NASA hopes to study changes to the lunar surface during impact and the behavior of ejected materials. The agency plans to use the findings to improve safety for future crewed lunar exploration missions. The event is drawing significant attention as a valuable opportunity to observe an object impacting the lunar surface. Latest work by Keigo Higashino, who passed away last month, released. Former editors discuss its appeal. The latest installment in the Galileo series, written by author Keigo Higashino, who passed away last month, was released on the 5th. This series, among all of Higashino's works, has remained particularly popular. To coincide with the release of the latest book, an event was held at a bookstore in central Tokyo on the evening of the 4th, where successive editors of the series gathered. The editors reflected on their writing collaboration with Higashino and spoke about the appeal of the work. Through the testimony of editors who supported Higashino's creative endeavors up close, it appears many fans had the opportunity to gain fresh insight into the author's creative approach and the thoughts embedded within his works. Fire breaks out at Kodai-ji Temple in Kyoto, connected to the wife of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, mostly extinguished. A fire broke out at Kodai-ji Temple in Higashino Ward, Kyoto on the night of the 3rd. The temple, which has ties to Nene, the wife of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, saw flames emerge from a building on its grounds. The fire was mostly extinguished approximately 40 minutes after being reported to the fire department. The flames spread to multiple buildings within the temple grounds, but the fire did not develop into a large-scale conflagration. Authorities are currently assessing the extent of damage to the structures. Police and fire officials have launched a detailed investigation into the cause of the fire and are gathering additional information about the circumstances surrounding the incident. Government decides on basic policy for reduced consumption tax on food. Rate to drop to 1% for 2 years starting April next year. The government has decided on a basic policy regarding reduced consumption tax on food items at an extraordinary cabinet meeting on the 5th. Starting in April next year, the consumption tax rate on food will be reduced from the current 10% to 1% for a 2-year period. Through this measure, the government aims to ease the tax and social insurance burden on citizens, particularly low to middle-income households. The government intends to support households affected by soaring prices and to provide a foundation for sustaining consumer spending. The specific implementation methods and detailed list of targeted food items are expected to be coordinated among relevant government ministries going forward. Prime Minister Takaichi says strong economic growth and fiscal sustainability are compatible. Prime Minister Takaichi met with Usui, chairman of the Japan Business Federation, to discuss future economic and fiscal policies. During the meeting, Prime Minister Takaichi indicated her view that achieving a strong economy through enhanced domestic investment and maintaining fiscal sustainability are compatible goals. The Prime Minister stated that active capital investment and expanded research and development by companies lead to economic growth, which in turn generates increased tax revenue, creating a positive cycle. The Japan Business Federation expressed understanding of this approach and voiced expectations for future policy developments. The meeting underscored the government and business community's shared commitment to achieving both economic growth and fiscal health. LDP approves basic policy plan to reduce consumption tax on food to 1% for 2 years starting April next year. The Liberal Democratic Party approved the government's basic policy plan regarding the consumption tax reduction on food products today. The plan includes lowering the consumption tax rate on food items to 1% for a 2-year period beginning in April next year. The government is scheduled to formally decide on this policy at an extraordinary cabinet meeting this afternoon. The measure is expected to ease the burden of food expenses for the public. Unprecedented intervention. U.S. strategy revealed in exclusive interview with Treasury Secretary Bessent. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent sat down for an exclusive interview with NHK. He shed light on the background behind the recent coordinated intervention by Japanese and American monetary authorities aimed at halting the yen's decline. The intervention has drawn attention as an unprecedented measure of historic proportions. Secretary Bessent emphasized concerns about the impact excessive yen weakness could have on the global economy, and stressed the importance of maintaining market stability. We bring you details from this valuable interview in which the Secretary discussed American policy decisions and future policy directions in depth. Nikkei average surges over 2,300 points on easing Middle East tensions. The Nikkei average posted strong gains on the Tokyo Stock Exchange on the 5th, closing up more than 2,300 points from the previous day. The broad-based buying was driven by expectations that tensions over the Middle East situation would ease. With geopolitical risks seen as declining, investor appetite for stocks increased, leading to buying across a wide range of issues. This optimistic outlook lifted the overall market. Growing concerns about the economic outlook have eased, and there is a strengthening trend of investors returning to risk assets. Man arrested at Trump golf course ahead of presidential visit. handgun found in vehicle. A suspicious person was found at President Trump's golf course in California in the western United States. On the 2nd, police responded to a report of a man trespassing on the golf course grounds, where they discovered a handgun in the man's vehicle. Police have detained the man on suspicion of illegal possession of a firearm. President Trump is scheduled to visit the golf course on the 4th, and police are currently investigating the details and circumstances surrounding the incident. Given that this occurred ahead of the presidential visit, authorities are expected to consider enhanced security measures. Police search South Korean Starbucks over criticism of mocking Gwangju uprising. A promotional campaign by Starbucks in South Korea is drawing controversy. The company's sales promotion campaign is accused of ridiculing the 1980 Gwangju democratization movement, which was violently suppressed by the military. This incident is considered a tragedy in modern Korean history, resulting in numerous casualties from military crackdown. As criticism spread, police launched an investigation after receiving a complaint from civic groups alleging insults to democratization movement veterans. Starbucks has apologized, saying the campaign was inappropriate, but calls are now growing for scrutiny of the campaign's content related to this historically significant event. Russian attack kills 17 in Kyiv. Zelensky points to shortage of air defense missiles. Russia launched a barrage of ballistic missiles and drones against Ukraine's capital Kyiv and its surrounding areas in the early morning hours of the 5th, killing at least 17 people. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that lives could have been saved if air defense missiles had been available. It marks the deadliest attack on Kyiv so far this year. According to Zelensky, residential buildings, a railway station, and warehouses were struck, with at least 44 people wounded. Kyiv's military authorities reported that residential buildings and warehouses sustained damage from the attack. To counter Russian ballistic missile strikes, Ukraine has been continuously pressing its allies for additional deliveries of the US-made Patriot air defense system. Following this airstrike, Ukraine has issued no reports of successfully intercepting any missiles. Zelensky stated that delays in receiving ballistic missile defense systems from partner nations have resulted in terrible casualties and destruction. Russia's defense ministry announced it had targeted logistics hubs and supply centers in Kyiv and surrounding areas, stating that these facilities were involved in the storage and distribution of various weapons and military supplies, as well as in the manufacturing and distribution of unmanned aerial vehicles. Russian military uses drone to chase vegetable vendor. Explosion occurs. Zelensky releases video. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky released footage on the 4th on social media showing a drone pursuing a man in southern Ukraine. He characterized it as an example of Russian human hunting attacks targeting civilians. The video shows a drone chasing a man selling vegetables in a street in Kherson region. The man runs around a white van trying to escape the hovering drone overhead. However, the drone ultimately dives toward the man and explodes. The man survived. According to the treating physician, he sustained multiple lacerations from drone fragments, a concussion, and psychological trauma. Attacks on civilians by remote-controlled drones, also called human hunting, are tactics Russia frequently employs to terrorize residents in frontline areas of Ukraine. President Zelensky posted on the messaging app Telegram, stating, "The world must witness this reality." He added, "We must witness all evidence showing that Russia has descended into madness, and all facts demonstrating that Russian soldiers enjoy killing and tormenting people." Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said the footage demonstrates barbaric war crimes.